Welcome back to Saturday Morning Live with Esther and Phil. It's now 11:45. Got some views there,
Yes,
Phil?
we have. We were just speaking to Lynn and Samantha Crilly about their trouble muncher, and James says, what a lovely idea and a touching story. I'd definitely get my child a trouble muncher. They would really love it. And Lara says, I have severe anxiety. I'm so pleased people are taking it properly rather than taking the mick out of anxiety. What a lovely idea. I should just say that we were talking about David Beckham and Victoria Beckham and who's to blame if there's a affair. Obviously, David Beckham says there wasn't an affair, and we accept his word for that. But Madeline here says, if it is true that he had an affair with Rachel Lewis, I do not blame Rachel. I would have done the same. David Beckham's hot, so she wouldn't blame Rebecca Lewis if that is actually true.
I think there was lots of women thinking that.
Exactly, absolutely.
At the time. Now, look, we're delighted to have sports journalist Chris Scudder and showbiz journalist Hayley Palmer with us in the studio.
And we've also got Simon Danchuk back in here for a last thought about what we should expect from the Labour Party conference coming up. So, Simon, obviously you've been to many a Labour Party conference. There'll be cock-a-hoop, the by-election results. They're miles ahead in the opinion polls. How do they stop sort of complacency setting in this week?
Yeah, I think Keir has to seal the deal with the electorate at this conference. It's probably the last annual conference before a general election. He needs to put some meat on the bones in terms of policy. He needs to convince people that he's got solutions to illegal immigration. He needs to say where he stands in terms of climate change targets. Where is he in terms of defence? It's not that long ago Keir was backing Jeremy Corbyn to be Prime Minister, who was anti-NATO and pro-nuclear disarmament. So he needs to really frame himself, make it clear he's not just sitting on the fence, but he's going for this and where he stands on a variety of policies.
Rishi Sunak in his conference speech said that Keir Starmer and the Labour Party are trying to win the election by believing in nothing and saying nothing and hoping that nobody notices. Is that a fair criticism, do you think? Is that, or do you think people might think that about Keir Starmer?
I think it's a fair criticism, and looking at this by-election in Scotland, it's fair to say that Labour haven't won the by-election. The SNP lost it, and replicating that across the country isn't really enough to be able to gain power at a general election.
And it was interesting, the leader of the Unite Union said, oh, Labour's just managerial. It hasn't got anything, it isn't saying anything, and it's not standing up for what the people want. But you're staying with us here, and as I said, we've got Chris, we've got Hayley in the studio giving us the latest showbiz. You know who I'm interested in? I've always been a huge fan, and that is of Cher.
Yeah.
And she's doing her first ever, Christmas album or something?
She's got a Christmas album and a Christmas song, and I'm going to predict now that it's going to be Christmas #1. I have heard the song, and it is an absolute tune. Even you'd like it, Phil.
I'm a massive fan of Cher. I think she's brilliant.
Does it have a vocoder? She always has those vocoder things, doesn't she, where she does the auto-tune thing?
Yeah, but that's Cher, isn't it? We love that sound. It's called DJ Play a Christmas Song. She's also got an album coming out as well, which features Stevie Wonder, Michael Bublé and Cyndi Lauper, which is out on the 20th of October. So go on, Cher.
I remember reading Cher's biography, or I'm not sure if it was autobiography or biography, and you talk about her voice, how unique it is. When she was called in as a backing singer, they were like, we can't have you, you know, your voice is too unusual, and that's how she became a solo artist.
It's brilliant, because usually, you know, people don't do Christmas. It's a bit gimmicky, isn't it? But this is the one.
Cliff Richard used to do the Christmas #1 every year. Are you going to buy Cher's song?
I could well do, actually.
There we go.
But you know,
you forget how long ago it was. Sonny and Cher, I Got You, Babe. Great song. Great song. He died, didn't he, Sonny Bono?
Yeah, very
skiing accident?
Yes.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Some years ago.
So lots going on in sport, Chris.
Before I say this, you know, we've all been talking about the Beckham Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Chris is in it.
A little cameo from me on that.
He's in it.
Yeah. Somebody's texted. I haven't seen it yet, but somebody texted me yesterday.
For the wrong reasons.
Any reason. It was a good one to be in, Chris. You can tell us.
What are you doing in it?
Well with Bex. I mean, he was going. Of all the England players I used to interview, he was the one player you used to think really bust a gut, and it really mattered to him. I loved him for that, you know. I remember when the day he finished the captaincy after the 2006 World Cup, he cried, you know, in the media conference, and he got up out of his chair, and I started clapping. You know, this is Beckham exiting the stage, you know, and he just He went.
And he didn't
walked off.
half.
That's not what impartial journalists normally do, is it?
Well, I just thought it was appropriate.
But he did practice. I know his dad.
But the bit
and he
from the-
practiced to
Yeah.
get those goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, the free kicks.
Yeah.
He was,
So what's going on in the sport now? We got the Rugby World Cup, Cricket World
just
Cup.
on Beck's old club. I mean, Man United, worst start for 37 years, I think. If they lose at home to Brentford today, it's 3 home defeats in a row. Not happened since 1962, I don't think. There's the whole narrative of who's going to buy the club. It's dragged on and on and on. Interesting that the women's team played last night and there's a massive Glazers out sign. They want the Americans out, that club. Women's team, the men's team. It will happen eventually, but they're not popular. And United are struggling because of it. They're playing Brentford today, 10th in the league, miles behind the top few clubs.
And the big controversy was Kevin Keegan's comments this week about we shouldn't have women pundits talking on the men's game. I think lots of people might secretly agree with him. I mean, I couldn't care whether they're men or women as long as they're good. But
you can't really say that. But
people, I just have to know.
Yeah, they have. But what I'm saying is, I mean, to give it some context.
Too late. You should have told me earlier.
Kevin said he likes female presenters. There's some great female presenters around at the moment. There really are. What he doesn't like so much is the context of having a pundit, so talking about the men's game. What he wants is players who have been there and done it, like he did.
So what he's saying is they don't really know because they weren't there and they have... Hayley, would you have an issue whether it's male, female?
No, because I'm just showbiz. I'm just jazz hands, so...
Yeah. Do you don't think it matters whether it's a man, or do you not think...
No comment, no, not to me.
There are some good pundits, but, I can understand the context.
There are some really good female... I mean, Kelly Cates is a really good football presenter. I always think on Sky Sports.
I also think it's what you're used to, what you're not used to. I remember years and years ago when most singers were men rather than women. You were used to the vocal cords of men, and then you got used to women, and now they're the highest paid. You see what I mean? It's what you get used to, so women are coming forward.
Simon, what do you... Women in football said Kevin Keegan should keep his opinions to himself. What?
Well, I'm not really into football, but I think Kevin does sound like he's a bit of a bygone age in terms of what he's saying here. I think he's missing the mark. He's behind the...
you can see the narrative.
He's behind the curve on that one.
I think so.
But listen, there are some very good female pundits, but, some guys don't...
Moving on, more importantly, Elton John doing a makeup range.
See, this is more my thing, because he is going to be the face of Charlotte Tilbury, which they always have a big Christmas campaign, and I actually use Charlotte Tilbury on my skin.
Would Elton John modelling it be an incentive for you to go and buy it, Hayley? It seems a strange...
It's a bit of a weird choice, I must admit, because usually it is Kate Moss, but I think Kate Moss is doing it as well, and Jordan Dunn, but Elton John has been picked, and I was like, oh, OK, that's an interesting decision.
See,
but I think...
Men wearing makeup. Phil, you've got some on right now.
I've noticed anybody coming and asking me to do their Christmas promotion.
I was going to say, what face cream do you use?
No, it's just makeup for the TV. It's just makeup for the TV.
I'm to make up what you are to sport, Hayley.
There we go. All right, then.
But the rugby's going to be good.
Yeah, go on. Tell us about the Rugby World Cup.
We're getting to the business end of the tournament now. So, quarterfinals next week. Wales are going to be there. England are going to be there. They might even play each other. Possibly. We'll know more this weekend. Big game today, though. Scotland against Ireland. Scotland got to beat Ireland today, or else they're going home.
That's a tough
ask. Got a horrible group because they were in with South Africa as well. Weren't expected to go through, but it's a knockout game effectively. Ireland can still, if Ireland were to lose, but these things called losing bonus points. So if you don't lose by more than 7 points, then you get a point.
It's nearly as complicated as the actual rules of rugby union, to be honest. Are you a rugby union
Chris
fan?
No.
Would you like any sport?
No, I don't do sport.
You're more showbiz, aren't you?
He does politics.
Yeah.
The Simon and Hayley show, the non-sport.
We do our own show together.
Simon, thank you very much. Hayley, thank you very much. Chris, thank you very much. We've had a cracking show today, haven't we, with everything that's been going on. But look, that's it from us. We will be back tomorrow next week, next Saturday at exactly the same time, 10 a.m. Until then, enjoy the rest of the show.
And stay for Emily Carver. Stay for